Please be advised that the views and opinions of the host and guests do not reflect those of the station, the management, and its network.
Hello, I'm Mara Munoz. Welcome to the very first episode of GNN Times. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to showcase what Filipino culture is all about and how today's everyday scenes is shaping the past, as well as the future of our heritage and traditions. And it is indeed a privilege to share these views with today's hottest award-winning journalist. Ladies and gentlemen, my co-host, William Tio.
Yes, thank you so much, Mara. And it is indeed an honor. Alam nyo, na-insecure na naman ako kasi ang co-host ko ay napakaganda. For those who don't know yet her background, she is a Miss World. And it's incredible to be here with you and to be able to talk about these different topics about Filipino culture and of course, our heritage. Importante yan, lalong-lalo na syempre meron kaming generation gap eh. So, etong show na ito, we're gonna bridge the gap. That's the way it is. Sana naman hindi ganun ka-obvious.
Hindi obvious. Thank you for that, William. So I guess our televiewers would like to know what this show is all about. Well, life today goes by so fast and slowly, and unfortunately, we are losing some of our most cherished treasures and traditions. So today, due to the internet age, whether for better or worse, people today tend to go for those 60-second clips, and the young are slowly losing interest with traditional Filipino traditions that made us who we are. I wasn't born yet, William,
Yes.
when the Bayanihan dancers were the thing, but from the stories of my parents, I felt a kinship of some kind. Hence, this show is about bridging the past and present regarding Filipino art and culture, as well as bridging the gap between where Filipinos went and where we are going. I think we are both age appropriate to do what would you think, William?
Yes, I really agree, Mara, kasi it's true, no? No matter what age you are, yung para bang kultura natin ito eh. We are Filipino. So dapat talaga, whether we're young or we're old, we remember kung saan tayo nag-umpisa. And yung para bang the good thing is, on our show, we will be able to educate people, both young and old. Well, the young people na they don't know it yet. For the older people like me, refresh yung mga knowledge namin. Because you're right, now is very different. Para bang yung 60-second clips, yung mga reels, and all of the kids are on their phone. And then there is a good and a bad thing. Because syempre, ang maganda ngayon, yung para bang you can reach even abroad just by looking at your phone. So wala tayong downtime.
Yes.
Nung bata ako, you have to call. Kung alimbawa, local, 109. Tapos you're gonna get an operator pa. Sa international naman, you dial 108 and then you'll have to place a call. So maraming downtime na nawawala ngayon. At the same time, because of all of the convenience, para bang people don't want to exert that extra effort anymore, which I think is very much sayang. No? Ayun.
That's right. What most young people tend to forget is that our country is perhaps the most visually appealing and deeply diverse cultural heritage in Asia. Why? Well, maybe because we were influenced so much by our Spanish heritage. Maybe ever farther, like the Chinese barter trade, and of course, the American influence in the 18th century. This mix made us more appealing to our Western friends. But would you believe are frowned by most of our Asian friends as to Western for their taste. Take, for example, the ballet where we have excelled so much in the international community.
Yes, of course, yung para bang yung influence ng Spanish and Americans both in World War I and II, para bang makikita natin yan through the structures, through the food, sa restaurants natin, di ba, yung mga lechon, and even yung mga churches natin, like Corregidor Island. Parang all of these things are like a hodgepodge. One of the nice things, though, yung para bang I feel, well, both good and bad, is we are, yung para bang we are situated very strategically. Pero ang nangyayari naman, nagiging pinag-iintresan tayo pagka may gera Exactly like now, di ba, between China and America. And so kumbaga, it's like a rehash rin of the past. Pero ang maganda dun, yung para bang culture natin was enriched because of this. Like, isipin na natin, hindi na tayo maglalayo, no? Filipinos are known to have very beautiful women, katulad ng aking co-host, di ba? Hindi na ako kailangan lumayo. Also, we also para bang produce many good singers. Nakikita natin, di ba, throughout the years, ang daming nananalo. Like, para bang during my time, Regine Velasquez, iba talaga yung boses niya. So, para bang same with yung choirs natin and orchestra, like the madrigal singers and stuff. Para bang ang dami talaga, pati yung mga plays natin. So, I think there's really a lot to look forward to in our culture. We just have to dig deeper and appreciate it. Yun. Like our theaters, di ba? Parang ganun.
Yes. Speaking of artistic inclinations, iba na rin ngayon ang mga Pinoy artists. And in the future, we will invite them to speak to us about their art, their process, and where the Philippine art is taking us locally and abroad, how we are looked at by our contemporaries. Meron pang mga one luna in our midst, and how art has expanded and evolved through the years.
Yes, also in painting, we have a lot of masters, sculptors,
Yes, a lot.
Painters. Ayun, you mentioned Juan Luna, meron din si Hidalgo, si Manansala, of course. And not to mention a lot of the young ones that are coming up ngayon. Diba, si Ben Cab is also amazing. So maraming yan. And of course, we're going to showcase that throughout the whole season. So let us also not forget our literature. Meron pa bang nagbabasa ngayon? Like actual physical books, di ba? And digital publishing changed the library landscape. Invite rin tayo ng mga writers, di ba? Para malalaman natin kung paano nag-evolve itong mga from books to e-books, ganon.
Speaking of architecture, it is one of the key designs that defined us as a nation. Kaya naman, natutuwa ako na nasisave ng mga Spanish colonial houses and Filipino bahay na bato na makikita ninyong buhay pa sa ating mga probinsya. These national treasures, this program aims to preserve. Mag-feature tayo ng mga ganyang bahay. At bangan ninyo mamaya, may pag-uusapan tayong vlogger na nag-feature ng ganitong mga lumang bahay sa buong Pilipinas. Ikaw, William, meron ba kayong ancestral house?
Actually, sad to say, hindi Kasi ang bloodline ko, no, kung tutuusin, parang naging mongrel ako. Kasi ang dad ko, Indonesian. Tapos ang mom ko is Filipina. But then, she pretty much grew up abroad also. Although from my grandparents who are originally from Guagua, Pampanga, ayun. Siyempre, ang sa akin kasi, mahilig ako kumain Kaya kailangan na we also have to add Filipino food as part of the heritage. Yun nga ang sinasabi ko sa ating mga producers sana we can also go out and try different Filipino food kasi culture din naman yan, di ba?
Yes.
Okay, so but before we delve deeper into what our show is all about, our televiewers are curious about who you are, Mara. And I'm going to give you, paano ka bang naging host ng GNN? Can you give us a little bit of a background, what you were doing prior to this para lang yun nga, you are Miss World Philippines and third princess in 2016, no? Pero mukhang ang bata-bata ng aking co-host, parang 19 nga lang siya. Since then, you have also graced the fashion and television guesting circuits for a number of years, and you have a degree in computer technology. Nako, I'm going to fail in that. While your hobbies include playing badminton and dancing, and of course, swimming. Tell us the story of how you became a GNN host and ano ang balak mo for the show in the future.
Yes, so thank you for introducing me again, William.
Oo nga eh.
Yes. So I've been doing hosting through, I did hosting through international app. So I just turn on my phone and then a lot of people will watch me around the world, ganyan. And yeah, I talk to them. And also I do guestings before. I did judging also for beauty competitions and other competitions, ganyan. And yeah, how did I get here?
Yes, oo nga. Paano ka umabot dito
Paano
to
ba
the
ako
studio?
umabot dito, guys?
Okay.
So yeah, I really did not expect this actually. It's my first time to have a TV show na ako yung mag-host. And I know the producer, Kuya Butch Serrano, personally. So he called me and sinabi niya na lang na pwede ka ba mag-host ng TV show, bagong TV show ng GNN. So at first, syempre, kinakabahan ako, right? Kasi if ever, first time ko to. Pero binoost niya naman yung confidence ko. Sabi niya, kakayanin ko to. And mas matututunan ko pa yung mga bawat araw na mag-show tayo. So yes, I'm very thankful. Thank you, GNN, for choosing me as one of your hosts. And yes, about GNN, so sana mas ma-wide pa natin yung show natin. Magkaroon tayo ng more followers. And sana mas makilala pa siya like the other, popular TV shows here in the Philippines.
Okay, and I'm sure we will because yung topics natin walang masyadong gumagawa Yung para bang, I like that, going back to basics. One of the things that's very important to me, I think, growing up in many different places is that you learn something new every day. And I'm excited to learn more about Filipino culture because yung para bang masasabi talaga like sinabi mo, di ba, with the internet age, people are not even interacting together anymore. During my time, talagang you will eat together as one family and you will talk. Walang choice Because walang ako, nung bata ako, when I wanted a little entertainment during breakfast, I will turn the cereal box around tapos binabasa ko yung mga ingredients kung ano-ano sa cereal.
Mga puzzle,
yung mga ganon. It comes with yung para bang sticker books, ganon. So, ayun, I think we're gonna learn a lot from this show.
Yes,
and
I'm
have
very
fun.
excited.
And the
Correct.
most important thing is we're both gonna have fun in the process.
Yes, I'm really excited. So ikaw naman, William, news anchor and journalist, product endorser. You're in the construction business as well, international and local award-winning newscaster and journalist and dog lover and breeder. Wow! Tell us more, William.
Well, ako naman kasi, when I was young, I was one of those people who didn't really know what I wanted to be. A lot of my classmates wanted to be a doctor, wanted to be a lawyer, a fireman, or something like that. Yung para bang alam na nila. Ako naman, marami akong gustong gawin So para bang I coined this small motto while I was growing up. Para lang at least to be safe. Number one, how would you know what you want if you don't experience what you don't want? So doon pa lang nagpa-process na ako of elimination. And how would you know what it's like to be good if you've never been bad? Kaya yun, process of elimination na naman. So kumbaga anything goes for me. So para bang I started as a news reporter going back into way back in 2008. At that time, kasi mahina talaga ako sa Tagalog when it comes to reading the prompter and anchoring. So para bang at that time, it was only RPN9 and ANC that had an English newscast. Wala pa.
Okay.
GNN was not there yet.
Wala
So
pa.
I was a news reporter, so binibigay sa akin lahat ng mga beats na varied beats, Senate, tapos Congress, kung ano man yung mga press cons around Quezon City, and then I'd have to come back and then write it, and then para bang and then for the anchor and the updater to report. After 4 months of doing that, I got upgraded to an hourly news anchor, which I was for about a year, and then dito na ako nakapag-move sa GNN. I started hosting a show called Opinion Leaders, which is basically anything and everything under the sun. So para bang anything to do with social responsibility, and then naging main anchor ako ng News Force for about 5 or 6 years then before I became an anchor on Y News in UNTV. And in the middle of all of that, I have Damayan on PTV4 and also yung morning show, which is doon talaga ako nag-umpisa. As per construction, it started I was very young. My grandmother kasi started restoring homes, and yung para bang she would buy small homes and then sell them, and dun siya kumita ng pera. So, as I was growing up, naging exposure ko yan. My people are very good, pulido sila, we don't overcharge, and we guarantee our work. So throughout the years, yun na rin ang ginawa ko. I started doing it for other people, and then so basically that's it. As for dogs, I've loved them since I was a kid. Started as a pet. Now I've been showing dogs. They've been winning a lot internationally. We have some number 1, number 2 dogs way back in the past, and I'm also a judge now, so I can judge Pomeranians, Alaskan Malamutes, and Chow Chows. And there. So basically, that's a little bit of what I do.
Wow, a little bit pero ang dami. Wow, thank you. So that's it for our first segment. Sit back and relax for our next one. Music and dance as the arts, hindi na ito iba sa Pilipino. In the 50s, we were singing to the high heavens with our condiment songs, modernized by time. The Beatles came to town during the 60s. Pero, ang masasabi nating golden age of music were during the 1970s. Yan talaga nagsimula ang Filipino rock and folk songs, extolling Filipino love and experiences and love for country. But there's one constant backdrop from yesterday until today na hindi matibag ng panahon. Kung mapapansin ninyo, ano man ang panahon, ang bahay na tisa, bahay na bato, o old Filipino ancestral houses will always be found in our subconsciousness. Noon hanggang ngayon, matibay siyang nakatayo at nagpapaalala sa atin ng ating maganda at simpleng nakaraan.
Yes, speaking of simple, simple siya pero very, very strong, matibay yan. Kasi yung mga bahay na bato, alam mo naman dito sa Pilipinas, para bang dalawa lang yan. It's either it's really dry or it gets really wet, di ba? We don't have the 4 seasons like the Western Hemisphere. So we just have the hot and the dry season. So yung bahay na bato is there to keep the water out during the wet season. And dahil bato, malamig yan, para bang pagka mainit, ay malamig tayo sa loob. Kaya basically hindi nawawala yan because for comfort, functionality, importante, lalong-lalo na hindi rin siya masyadong mahal, di ba? Yeah, pero matibay.
Kaya nga, we are very happy na pinayagan tayo din ng YouTube vlogger na si Fern para mapakita ang kanyang mga vlog sa YouTubero. Isang vlog na nagpapamalas ng kagandahan at importansya ng mga ancestral houses natin. Fern put a new light into how we look at these bahay na bato, whereas before, parang puro ghost houses at may nakatirang multo ang tingin natin sa mga lumang bahay na ito. But now, with Fern's efforts, ay natutuwa ang ating mga kababayan to appreciate the beauty of these Filipino homes.
Yes, and maraming klase yan eh. Throughout the years, of course, they have evolved, they have changed. Yung para bang, kasi iba-iba na rin ang uses ngayon eh. Dati, alam ko, we were pretty much agricultural for the most part. Pero ngayon, kung mapapansin mo, naalala ko nung bata ako, ang develop lang ay Makati, Quezon City, at saka yung Parabang at Manila. Those were basically the only three main cities. Wala pa yung BGC. Ngayon, pagka makita mo yung BGC, parang nasa New York ka na rin. Pasig has also developed. And the Mega Mall area, Ortigas, and Green Hills, and everything else in between. So, nakikita talaga natin yung spread of civilization and yung Parabang modernizing every single aspect. Naalala ko noon, no, when you wanted to buy something, you'd have to import it. Ang maganda ngayon, everything is available here. Kaya, pero on top of that, no matter how our culture evolves, how technology can actually yung sort of like modernize us, let's not forget kung saan tayo talaga nag-umpisa.
Yeah, you know, William, for us millennials, akala ng karamihan sa vegan, Ilocos lang matatagpuan ang mga ganito kadaming ancestral houses. Actually, mas marami pa ang sometimes, mas magaganda pa ang makikita malapit lang sa Metro Manila. Nandyan ang heritage town ng Batangas, ang Taal, kung saan naliparan ang mga ancestral houses na preserved, mga bahay rin ng ating mga national heroes. Batangas, being a cradle of leaders and heroes. Nandyan din ang San Juan, Batangas at Bulacan, pati na rin sa Manila. Marami ka talagang makikita ng mga old houses.
Yes, makikita rin natin sa Cavite, di ba, yung Aguinaldo House is very well preserved, and para bang since I was young, doon natin mapupuntahan exactly almost the same. Although, isipin mo, ang Intramuros, no, although sa totoo lang, ano na yun eh, yung para bang restoration na lang yun eh. But as much as possible, I know that they restored it to almost 100%. Ang natira lang yun is a certain portion of the San Agustin Church eh. Yun lang halos. Pero the rest, makikita pa rin natin by going to Fort Santiago, yung pinagdaanan ng mga Pilipino during the time of the Japanese in World War II, of course. So para bang speaking of preservation, importante din that we don't forget, like Batangas, like you said, Cavite and Tagaytay, Bulacan, marami pang mga bahay na ganito ang nakikita. But of course, with new developers, condominiums, para bang I think we still have to consider that we cannot wipe out yung cultural heritage natin. Yon. Ikaw, Mara, have you been inside one of those houses? Ako, bukod sa kay Aguinaldo, yung bahay ni Rizal, yun lang ang actually napuntahan ko. But then I was very young.
Yes, actually, yun ang napuntahan ko.
Both.
Kay Rizal.
Alright.
Kay Rizal. Sa Laguna. I think
yes.
Calamba.
Calamba, yes.
So, nung pumunta ako doon, makikita mo talagang matibay yung bahay. Pero hindi siya yung original na house ni Rizal na kasi nagiba siya nung World War II. So, nirebuilt lang yung bahay ni Rizal doon. And actually, nasilip ko lang yung loob ng bahay. Hindi nagpapapasok ng mga visitors ng time na yon. Pero yes, I was able to go there.
Yeah, to visit it. And
siguro nung bata ako, pero I can't remember.
You cannot remember na. Pero yun ang maganda na sinabi mo, wala na siya pero na-restore siya.
Yes.
So para bang, it's not an excuse. I think it's really not an excuse to say na para bang wala na kasi. Kung na-restore nila yung mga bahay ng ating mga national heroes, we can still restore our culture, di ba? To its original form.
Yes, I also think parami na rin ang nakaka-appreciate ng mga lumang bahay because it is truly a unique identifying feature of who we are as Filipinos. Noon, most ilustrados lamang ang may mga ganyang magagarang bahay at alam naman natin noon, mahal na rin magpatayo niyan. Lalo na ngayon. Actually ngayon, yeah. When most of the materials like hardwood nara, hindi mo na makikita. Medyo marami talaga tayong natutunan sa vlogs ni Fern. Kasi mahirap nang i-replicate or gayahin ang mga ganyang estilo ng bahay ngayon. Mahal pa.
Yes, mahal pa at saka it's very hard to find. Kaya nga pagka nakikita mo yung mga flooring ng mga old houses, ako pagka nakikita ko yung mga nara planks, no, we try as much to restore this because yung para bang wala ka nang makikita eh. Unang-una with deforestation, with climate change and everything, itong mga natural wood is already not it's very hard to find. And also,
It is.
you shouldn't be doing it anymore because if you want these nara plants, you're gonna have to kill trees that have taken hundreds and hundreds of years to grow. So para bang we can choose alternative materials that look as nice but are more environmentally friendly. And I think even with food, di ba, we have gone to organic farming, ganon, and para bang trying also to think of our health. Thinking of our health is also thinking of the health of our country and of course the world.
Yes, it has been a wonderful half an hour of introducing the show to our future televiewers. So please be reminded that GNN Times is aired through GSAT Channel 1, Sky Cable Channel 73, and carried by over 100 satellite networks nationwide. I'm Mara Munoz.
And of course, I am William Theo, and it was a pleasure to be able to sit on the same set with you, and I'm really looking forward to the whole season.
Me too.
Okay?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
from both of us, thank you for watching GNN Times.